You want to know when she knows she lost you? It's not when you leave. It's when you stop reacting. Most men think walking away is what makes her panic. It's not. What shakes her is emotional detachment. When you stop arguing, when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop trying to prove your value, that's when the shift begins. See, women are deeply intuitive with emotional energy. They can feel distance before you ever say a word. And when she senses that your attention, your validation, your emotional investment is no longer hers, something clicks. At first, she won't show it. She might act normal, maybe even colder. Why? Because she's testing. She's trying to see if this is temporary, if you'll break, if you'll chase again. But when you don't, when you remain calm, grounded, unavailable emotionally, that's when phase 1 starts. Phase 1, subtle reach. She'll text something random, send a memory, react to your story. It won't be direct. It won't say, I miss you. It'll say, hey, saw this and thought of you. Neutral on the surface, but emotionally loaded underneath. Why? Because she's checking access. If you respond instantly, emotionally, intensely, she relaxes. She hasn't lost you. But if your response is calm, short, controlled, now she feels uncertainty, and uncertainty creates anxiety. Phase 2, increased curiosity. When she realizes you're not engaging the same way, she watches. More profile views, more silent monitoring, more indirect questions through mutual friends. She wants data. She wants to know, did he replace me? Is he happier? Did he really move on? This isn't ego alone, it's attachment. When a woman truly bonds, she invests emotionally. And when she senses that bond slipping out of her control, it creates internal conflict, especially for men 30 plus. Because at that age, you're not chaotic, you're stable, you're grounded, and stability is rare. When she feels she lost stability, she feels the weight of it. Phase 3, emotional softening. This is where regret becomes visible. Her tone changes. She becomes warmer, kinder, more open. Not because she suddenly realized your worth. She always knew your worth. But she didn't believe you would detach. Now she does. And that changes everything. Here's the hard truth most men miss. She doesn't regret hurting you. She regrets losing access to you. That's neutral psychology. Not evil, not malicious, just human behavior. People value what becomes scarce. When you were always there, your presence felt guaranteed. When you pull back, your presence becomes uncertain. Uncertainty increases value. But here's where most men destroy it. They mistake her softer behavior for reconciliation. They overinvest too quickly. They reopen emotionally too fast. And the moment she feels security again, the power dynamic resets. Listen carefully. The goal is not to punish her. The goal is not revenge. The goal is self-respect. When you truly detach, not as a tactic, but as a decision, you change. Your energy changes. Your responses change. You become less reactive, less needy, less emotionally dependent. And that shift is felt immediately. Women respond to emotional strength more than emotional speeches. You don't need a long explanation. You don't need closure paragraphs. Silence and calm distance communicate more than arguments ever will. Now let's go deeper. Why does she truly feel loss only after detachment? Because conflict still contains connection. Arguments mean emotion. Emotion means attachment. But indifference? Indifference signals the end. When she feels you no longer need her validation, that's when it hits. And here's the part men over 30 must understand. Your value increases when you control your emotional responses, not when you suppress feelings, but when you manage them. When you stop reacting to every mood shift, every delay, every breadcrumb, she feels the difference. And if she has truly lost you, you'll see 3 final signs. 1. She becomes direct. No more subtle hints. Clear communication. 2. She tries to reopen emotional depth. Old memories, inside jokes, deep talks at night. 3. She shows vulnerability, because vulnerability is the final attempt to reestablish connection. But here's your responsibility. Do not respond from ego. Do not respond from revenge. And do not respond from loneliness. Respond from clarity. Ask yourself, is this aligned with the man I am becoming? Because the real win is not making her regret losing you. The real win is becoming the man who no longer fears being lost. That's power. That's maturity. That's emotional control. And when a woman knows she has truly lost you, it's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet. It's in the way her tone shifts, the way she watches, the way she reopens doors she once closed. But by then, you're different, grounded, calm, unshaken. And whether she comes back or not, you've already won. Because the strongest position a man can ever reach is not needing to be chosen. It's choosing himself. And once you reach that point, everyone feels it.